Everybody, welcome to another edition of This Week in Tyranny. I don't know how to get rid of the tyranny and baseball thing. If anybody's cool enough to do that, you're welcome to. So anyways, I just love the theme song and just playing on the TWIT, This Week in Baseball with TWIT, This Week in Tyranny. So let's go ahead and get started. I might not say all the things in these articles just so that we can keep it on YouTube. So when life returns, you'll know what I mean when I'm getting to it. When life returns to normal, when will life return to normal? This article says in 7 years at today's rates of the jab. In Canada, it's going to take more than 10 years at this rate, it says. Just newsflash, starts with N, ends in ever, never. And that's why I just keep getting more frustrated. If you see me on the rundown, which aired on the Restoring the Faith YouTube channel, I'll link it at the end of this in that little box on the end screen thing, so you can click on it if you want to watch. I put on a few facial things. If you want to take a look, is for comic relief, but also in a serious note because they tell us to wear multiple ones now. So mocking is the best way to do it anymore. But yeah, that's what frustrates me more than anything is these guys are here for the long game and our guys just sit back and don't do anything. Drives me absolutely batty. So they're literally talking about, I mean, Schwab talks about that in his book. Never. It will never go back to normal. They're the ones in charge. We're just letting it happen. The church could end this, but no one's doing it. Thought this was funny.
Seasonally for a long period of time. I mean, it's hard to look out what it's going to look like in 10 years, but I think certainly for the next several years, we're probably going to get seasonal boosters for this, and at least for the foreseeable future heading into this fall, those
He's on the board of
boosters may
Pfizer.
be reformulated to reflect the new variants. Now, it may be the case, there's a lot of people suggesting that this virus isn't going to mutate itself endlessly, that there's a sort of subset of things that it could do to change its conformation, change its proteins in a way to try to evade our immunity. And once we engineer vaccines to accommodate most of those changes, maybe we'll get a more stable formulation. But I think it's still likely to become an annualized shot because even if it confers immunity that persists past a year, I think heading into the fall and the winter season when this coronavirus is going to want to circulate, you're going to want to make sure you have maximal immunity. So I think we may be getting boosters for quite some time.
Gotta love the money's always going to come in. A big boost for Big Pharma. By the way, if you're not following him on Twitter, I'm trying not to use his name just in case that's flagged. Do it. Follow that guy. He has been fantastic on all this stuff. Nevada bill would allow tech companies to create governments. This came out, 4th of February. Carson City, Nevada. Planned legislation to establish new business areas in Nevada would allow technological companies to effectively form separate local governments. Democratic Governor Steve Sosolak, announced a plan to launch so-called innovation zones in Nevada to jumpstart the state's economy by attracting technology firms. Las Vegas Review-Journal reported Wednesday. This zone would permit companies with large areas of land to form governments carrying the same authority as counties, including the ability to impose taxes, form school districts, and courts to provide government services. So this is acting locally, thinking locally, going the other way. The bad guys are probably doing this. As always, they know the plan. We don't implement it. They know it and they'll do it. Just like how governor, those guys like Soros was interested in gubernatorial races. Nobody else really cared much. They did. Great Reset plan parallels some of Pope's initiatives, but there is a crucial difference. Edward Penn, he wrote 2 of them. I think he did. Did he write 2 of them? Yeah, 2 of them. So there's this one and that one. So this one with the 4th, and he did another one for the 5th. So he goes down and breaks out some of the things. You already know some from if you've been listening to me. Yes, there are some differences. I won't lie. But he's in with it. So yeah, the 100% plan in total, they may not have eye to eye, but nobody does. And I'm sure Gates and Bezos, who, by the way, Bezos retired, resigned today, the other day as CEO of Amazon. Keep an eye out on that. You just don't quit just for, because you got tired. I wonder what's up. But, yeah, I mean, nobody's 100% on each, but he's been there. I mean, he brings it up. So Turkson has been there for many years. Francis has talked to him and gave the blessing every time they do it. So it's not, again, maybe not 100% on their words, but they're friends and they're working together. Italian philosopher, the Great Reset, quote, feeds secularism and paves way for a de-Christianized society. Yes, well, because it's just communism in a different way, which is de-Christianization of a country or a world or a people or whatever. And, Nuremberg trial for communism. Use that for, there's groups like that are getting sued for the jab right now, or forcing or anything like this. So you're not going to be able to sue the big dogs. You're never going to get to sue Gates. You're never going to get to sue Klaus. But middle management guys, your localities, city, state, things like that, you could put the fear of God in them with some lawsuits. There's actually one, Lou Rockwell, I didn't pull it up, it has an article on something like this that's happening. It isn't complete. They haven't won yet, but these people, it was a school board in California where it was, what's his face? It was Kennedy. It was RFK Jr. And they sued, this one lady that works for them sued the school board, school district or whatever, about mandatory jabs for the kids. And they're winning right now. And they didn't hold back the punches. They called them, this is condemned in the Nuremberg trials. Use language like that. You will scare these middle management guys, your school districts and things like that. Scare them straight. Use this as much as you can to win back some of this. Got to fight back. You got to beat our battles. We're probably not going to win the war, but we can get some wins in certain cities if people are uppity about it. This was amazing.
Hi there, I'm Jill Biden here at the White House with our two dogs, Champ and Major. For a lot of us during this pandemic, our pets have been such a source of joy and comfort. And maybe a bark or two on a video conference. The unconditional love from a dog is one of the most beautiful things on earth, and we owe it to them to keep ourselves healthy. So please keep wearing your masks, even when you're out walking your dog. Right, guys?
Even when you're out walking your dog when nobody's around you. Notice she doesn't wear it when she's sitting on the couch there talking to you to tell you to wear it. Kind of just like when they were taking photos at the Temple of Lincoln after the inauguration and they got called out on it. Check this out.
What's important though is that
look at it. This is face painted.
I am staying 6 feet away from everyone.
Right.
Like, I'm staying away.
Because, like, when you go to a restaurant, you can
Right.
sit down and take it off because you're actually 6
also,
feet away.
you know what worries me is that no one's really stopped me. Like, if this is the measures that are going to save lives and nobody's stopped me, that's kind of weird, right?
Can I take a picture?
Yeah, I don't know if it works though.
The shopping trip I've ever done because
I mean, the best, like I said, that's the best way to do it is to mock it. Mock it as much as you can to as many people as you can. Like I say, if you look on the rundown, you'll see me with 7 of them on. And then I put a tinfoil hat on at the end because the real people that are tinfoil hat wearers are the people that believe that that thing that's on that mug does something. That means it's a superstition, which is a sin against the first commandment. Because if that doesn't work, which they have proven just by the last weeks of stupidity of saying you need 2 or 3 of these things on, when 2 only does 50%, according to, if you saw last week's episode that I pulled up, it was a study by Virginia Tech, 50% effective if 2, 90% if 3. Translation, 1 does absolutely nothing. So if 1 does absolutely nothing and you continue to wear it thinking it does something, that is by definition superstition. Might as well start doing some dancing in the street thinking it's going to, trying to say that dance is going to cause some rain. Or because the Super Bowl Sunday and you're a Bucks fan or a Packer fan, whoever you are, or you put some money on the game, that if you put your shoes in the corner at a different angle, that's going to make the team that you're rooting for do better. Same thing. That's what another thing I get uppity about some clerics, definitely, or bishops. Are you guys not getting this information? I'm not a smart person, nor am I have the time to find out all this stuff, to dig into this. You have what they call it, the leisure state of life, in terms of being able to study and think and things like this. Has thinking and studying gone out the window? Do you guys do any of this? This is not hard to find. And then after that, once you find it, you have to have humility to say, hey, maybe I was wrong. Is that in anybody right now? Do we have any of that? Because if people would start saying, hey, I was wrong, but we're not going to do that again, that could change a lot. That could go a long way, but nobody seems to say, hey, I was wrong. No one likes that anymore. It's just, hey, we just got to double down. Nothing's worked. We just got to go harder. Here's a William Gates.
We all want to return to the way things were before COVID-19. But there's one area where I hope we never go back. Our complacency about pandemics. We can get ahead of infectious disease outbreaks. By the next pandemic, I believe we can have what I call mega testing diagnostic platforms. They can be deployed quickly, cost very little, and test 20% of the entire population every week. We also want to get treatments out far faster next time. One of the most promising is monoclonal antibodies. These manufactured antibodies grab onto the virus and disable it, just like your immune system, and can reduce death rates by as much as 80%. I also think that we'll develop new vaccines quickly, in large part due to this new mRNA platform. mRNA will become faster to develop, easier to store, and lower cost. That's a huge breakthrough. To stop future pandemics quickly, we need to be able...
This is the non-doctor college dropout, by the way, telling everyone how to do this.
...to spot disease outbreaks as soon as they happen anywhere in the world. And that requires a global alert system. If there turns out to be some new infectious pathogen, then we need a group of infectious disease responders to spring into action. Think of these as like pandemic firefighters. They're going to use their logistics, use their ability to build up capacity quickly. They're going to go wherever that problem is. Stopping the next pandemic.
How come they're dressed that way? I thought just a regular thing over your nose and mouth worked.
Will require a big investment. But I think of this as the best insurance policy the world could buy. You can read more about this in our annual letter.
He wants to get 25% of the people testing every year. Speaking of tests, Biden approves $230 million for Rona home test kits that take 15 minutes and are 95% accurate. Because, they say it's 95% accurate because that must be true. They awarded a Australian-based company $230 million to scale up the manufacturing of its at-home Rona test. I think it's Illume at-home test, which received emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration, one of those alphabet soup places that we just need to get rid of. In December, were 95% accurate and provided users with Rona 19 results in 15 minutes. It's like 7-minute abs. Can we get 6-minute abs? Andy Slavitt, the senior advisor to President Joe Biden's Rona response team, announced a $1 million deal struck with Illume during the brief press briefing on Monday. Quote, they could be used if you feel symptoms of Rona, and also for screening people without symptoms, so they could safely go to work, school, and to events. Because, before this, you were just terrified if you ever had anything, even though you were feeling fine. Mr. Slavitt said, after you take the swab, you put the sample into a digital analyzer, which will send a result to your smartphone in about 15 minutes. Oh, so you need a smartphone, do you say? Let's see, where's that at? It's on the website. Okay, yeah. You have to have a app for this to work. Think about that one, right? Here's the website. Safe, accurate, rapid tests. Because, even if you do a at-home pregnancy test, it's not 100% effective or accurate. It could be also, user error. You touch something different. You could just dump it in accidentally on water. Water might hit something. There's all kinds of different things that could be messed with this. But this test includes a sterile nasal swab, a dropper, processing fluid, and a Bluetooth-connected analyzer used with an app on the user's smartphone. Boy, that doesn't sound bad, does it? Gets uploaded, goes to the government, comes back, and the government keeps your stuff. I guess they need more positive test ratings, huh? Suitable for 2 and 3. Oh, they have to. Oh, it's just a little dab. So that big long thing that they're doing at the other place when they're shoving it and tickling the back of your brain, that you don't need that anymore. But anyway, go again with everything. This will be all in the show notes. Go check it out. Scroll down. Here's the frequently asked questions one. Oh, there was it not here? Right here. Sorry. You can scroll down and check this out if you like this. This was kind of fun to read. But I kind of liked at the end here. What does it mean if I have a negative test result? Negative test result indicates you are unlikely to currently have the disease. A negative test result means that proteins, which are small parts of the virus that causes it, were not found in your sample. However, it is possible for this test to give a negative result that is inaccurate, a false negative. Obviously, there's no way it could give you any false positive, just false negatives. In some people with the disease, refer to the frequently asked question, can I have a false negative test result? This means that you could possibly still have it, even though the test is negative. If your test result is negative, your healthcare professional will consider the test result together with all other aspects of your medical history, such as symptoms, possible exposures, geographical location, places you have recently traveled, in deciding how to care for you. So basically, if you don't test positive, they're going to try to get you to test positive. They're going to find anything they can find. Oh yeah, you got it. But I feel fine. No. You got it. You were over here. And this guy had it. And this guy's sister had it. It's like 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. It'd be 6 degrees to the Rona. What should I do if my phone runs out of charge during the test? They're doing the, if you saw the last week's thing, China's doing the anal swab part. That's fun. It's Super Bowl weekend. I forgot. Don't care. Haven't watched the games since week 3, I think. Anyway.
Are out, and the CDC is recommending that no one cheer at their Super Bowl parties. If you are happy with the result, the CDC says that you should clap or stomp your feet. I swear to God, this is a real guideline predicated on COVID fears. You should not also share food at your Super Bowl parties. And again, you should clap and stomp your feet instead of saying yes or exulting in any way when your team or your preferred team, gambling-wise, is scoring. Now, look, I'm no great fan of Super.
He gets into it about not going to the games or just going at home watching with his family, but come on. Who's doing that? I know there's people that are going to do that if they're watching a game that just, like I told my wife today, we went to eat at this, after Mass tonight, we went to eat at this little local restaurant, which no socialist distancing was going on. None of the wait staff was wearing anything on their mouths or noses. It was normal. Absolutely normal. Great food too. and they had the local news on, and I could see it. I was facing the TV. It was the first time I watched local news in probably, was it February? Since April of last year, and it's because it was right there. Seriously, I think we were there for about a half hour, 40 minutes, probably 35 minutes of that 40, it was dedicated to the Rona. I'm going, no wonder people are tired. All they're getting, if they turn the local news on, is that apparently people are dying everywhere. You go in reality, you open up the door, it's not happening, but the news says so it must be true. There's one good way to end this kerfluffle, I guess you could say. This problem. Cut the TV off. It eliminates this. You'll immediately be cured of your fear overnight. It's amazing how that works. Priest under fire for allegedly holding exorcism day of the Capitol riot. It was a Nebraska priest who said he performed an exorcism in D.C. the day of the mob. Trump was storming the Capitol.
What was it like in there? What was it like for you in there?
Pretty awesome. Yeah. I wouldn't get way up there, but the crowd was awesome. The atmosphere. It's good to see so many people who care about the country, concerned about the country, people who know what's going on.
Look at those madmen behind them.
Steel, and hopefully we'll be able to take this into our local communities and do something. I always make the reference of sports, where you have sports fans who say what we're going to do when we're not on the field, but we can't be spectating. We need to be doing stuff individually, and we need to be taking whatever platforms we have and make our country better.
Now, what kind of prayers have people of faith been saying? Because it didn't seem to help Trump at all. What happened? Why did God abandon Trump?
God hasn't abandoned Trump. People have free will.
Well, you can watch the whole thing if you want. It's 5 minutes long. But somebody just interviewed him, and they're trying to go after him now. This is just like how I think they went after Father Z the other day and tried to get him kicked out. Same deal. Cancel culture to priests. Protect the clerics. Warmington. Man is forced detention in a Canadian Rona hotel.
So it turns out that there are internment camps in Canada for people with COVID. In fact, it's a holding center right here, the Radisson Hotel on Dixon Road, out next to Pearson International Airport. And not only are there dozens of people that are being held here, but they cannot leave until they're cleared. And one of the men that's inside, his name is Steve Dusing, and he has some very strong views on this.
On every floor, we got brought in here by shuttle. Was not a good experience. Took us a long time to get here. As you can see, we're not that far from the airport. They're giving us 3 meals a day, which are not, I showed you a couple pictures of the food. Not that great. We're not allowed to order anything in here. I don't know why. Swiss Chalet's right there. We can get Uber and everything. And I really just, like I said, I'm a single guy. It's not affecting me as much as it would a family, or if you had needs or anything like that. So I couldn't imagine trying to go through this with the kids or something like that.
Why are you in there? You have COVID-19?
No, I do not. I tested negative on the 29th. I got a test from, I was in America, and we were told on that thing, we even called the helpline, said on the website that we needed a negative test within 72 hours.
If you want to watch more of it, you can go ahead. What's that? Photo taken by him of the hallway. Well, that looks good. Can't order food. He was visiting somewhere here in North Kakalaki. Yeah. Again, Clown Planet. Welcome. This just in. Biden administration says Iran could now be weeks away from having material to build a nuclear bomb. Notice you haven't heard any of this kind of nonsense for 4 years. Says Obama. We're back in the third reign of the Obama administration, the 9th year of it. I did like this. This was kind of one of those. It's unpopular to say, but we got to be honest. Yeah, now Israel just bombed Syria the other day, too. Let's see. Can I get the original video back on this? Let's see. Yeah, there it is.
Tampa is hosting this year's Super Bowl, the third time the stadium hosted the game since opening in 1998. Now, the first was in January 2001 when the Baltimore Ravens beat the New York Giants 34-7. It was the first Super Bowl for the Ravens, with Ray Lewis taking home the Super Bowl MVP that year. The second Super Bowl, hosted at Raymond James Stadium, came in February of 2009. The Pittsburgh Steelers...
It's kind of funny. My brother and I, we were inches away from going to this game because we thought the Panthers were going to be in on that one. And Arizona, we were at the game when Arizona throttled Carolina. Basically, our boy Jake Delhomme had a terrible night, had 5 turnovers. We had free tickets to the game if we would have made it to the Super Bowl, but
beat the Arizona Cardinals 27-23. It was the first Super Bowl win for Coach Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh's 6th title. Santonio Holmes took home the MVP that year with 9 catches for 131 yards and one of the best catches you...
Okay, I thought they were going to get into the story. My bad. NFL offering fans chance to buy $100 cutouts for stands in Super Bowl 55. While there will be fans in the stands of Raymond James Stadium on February 7th, the stadium won't be at capacity due to health and safety protocols, obviously, in place of the combat the spread of the virus. The league invited 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers as well as 14,500 paid attendance fans to be at the game. Still, for those among us that aren't lucky enough to be able to attend the game, the league is offering a way for your face to be in the crowd. As the teams did throughout the season, which I thought in every sport was just ridiculous. The NFL is offering fans the opportunity to buy a cutout of themselves to be placed in the stands for the big game. Call the fan in the stand cutout. People can upload a photo of themselves or their local health hero to the game. The cutouts cost $100, and the portions proceeds donated to local charities of the fans' home team's choosing. I saw this at the gym. It was in the beginning of last week, and I wanted to shoot the TV. Going, if you do this, you are part of the problem. Just one of those things that you should just boycott anything like this because it's just so stupid. But people give them $100. They have a cutouts of them, and they'll say, "I'm at the game." Oh, good grief! You're not at the game. You're at your house on the couch. There was yippee, Wisconsin, the Cheeseheads, in statewide muzzle mandate. Madison, Wisconsin Assembly has passed an amendment this is part of the good news part of the program, that repeals the mask mandate issued by Governor Tony Evers. Republicans in the majority claim the governor did not have the legal standing to issue such public health orders. The vote was 52-42. The mandate will expire on Friday. Wisconsin will be one of the 10 states without a muzzle order. 4 Republicans from the Northeast Wisconsin joined Democrats in voting against the repeal. Attaboy, cheeseheads! Texas has now officially defunded Planned Butcherhood entirely. By Peter Heck, 4th February. After a 5-year legal battle between Texas and the Planned Parenthood, the state November court victory allowing it to cease funding the abortion giant through Medicaid went into effect on Wednesday. The 5th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the state after the Texas Office of Inspector General learned that Planned Parenthood violated federal regulations when it altered abortion procedures to harvest baby body parts. Planned Butcherhood facilities in Texas received about $3.1 million in taxpayer funded from Medicaid annually, and the abortion organization argued that eliminating the funding would hurt Texas women seeking basic health care. My apologies. Abortion remains a billion-dollar industry for Planned Butcherhood nationwide. The organization's last annual report showed that it received $616.8 million in government funding nationally. Wait a darn minute. I thought the last administration got rid of that money. What in the wide world of sports is going on right here? with about 90% of that coming from Medicaid. Medicaid funds, however, do not pay for abortions directly. Rather, Medicaid funds Planned Parenthood's abortion business indirectly. Wait, I was told that Planned Parenthood lost money during the last 4 administrations. How did that happen? $616.8 million in government funding nation. As we saw with Layla Roast, it went up every 4 years. Remember towards the end of the close to the election, President Trump at that time said that if you vote for him, that he would end funding for abortion. You know, politicians make promises like that, and he can't do it because he had no power to do that, even though he wanted to do that. But why do I bring this up? Because South Carolina is doing this too. And I think Missouri, if you're from Missouri, ended or kicked out the last butcher clinic. So what is that? Act locally, think locally. You can end abortion at the local level. End it in your states. End it. That's the only way you'll be able to do it. These federal ideas ain't going to do it. You've been doing it for what, 40, 50 years? And you haven't gone one step closer. End it at the local level. Speaking of local level, Alan West, the chairman for the Texas GOP, says Texans should be given an opportunity to vote to secede from the United States of America. Hot almighty. TEXIT. Maybe he took my tweet because I was saying Carolina exit. Texas. Hey, Alan West. Good job. Let's see, newsletter for. Okay, let's not do that. Let me read it first. Oh, I thought that was going to a line or something like this. Anyways, we'll take it. So far, it's all talk. They haven't done anything yet. Can we get that? Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, chairman of the Republican Party of Texas, took the issue of Texas reformation to express his support for the vote. Keep it coming. Let's see, torn off the rails. Major corporations. Okay, so yeah, I put that in. Go watch that. Anyways, if for those of you who think that's a nutty idea, I'm having Professor Donald Livingston on to do a series on secession. What is it? Scale, republicanism, etc. We're starting that Thursday, so stay tuned. Keep an eye out for that. But hey, you ever heard of this state called Vermont? They've been trying to do this for 50, 60 years. So when we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, for Vermont legislators went, quote, "That is not our government." Talking about District of Columbia, the feds. They've been trying to get out of D.C. for a while now. God love them. Texas could leave and be top 5. I know that's being conservative. They might be top 3 in global economy. That's not nuts right there. You don't have to be part of the United States to survive. The South could go away, the Southeast could go, the West could go, the Northwest could go, whatever. Northeast could go. Jefferson had the secession movement of the Northeast during the Louisiana Purchase because they figured that he violated the Constitution for the Louisiana Purchase, which he did, and they didn't want anything part of it because they thought that they were going to just basically cement that the Virginians were going to rule the Union for the rest of the time. It was a voluntary union. Guess what Jefferson did? He went and bombed those guys. No, he said they had the freedom to do that. Alexander Hamilton wrote that in the Federalist, talking about the freedom to withdraw from the voluntary union. So just because Lincoln got uppity and decided to wage war, an illegal war, as a tyrant on the South over nothing, and it wasn't about slavery, because he, by his own words, said he didn't care about that. So, hey, he wanted to ship blacks off the continent. Colonialism, basically, in the Dominican and other places. Check out some books on that by Thomas DiLorenzo. So, this is a good idea. This is a great idea. By the way, that would kill the idea with Trump's border wall. I was asking that to people. They didn't have an answer for that. I said, if Texas ever left, would you need a new wall for the remainder of the United States, like southern Oklahoma Louisiana needs to build a wall. What are you doing with that? You just going to keep moving that wall up? No, it's too big. It's out of scale. Think locally, act locally. And if you have a problem with what's going on in D.C., which everyone should be having a problem with, break up, divorce it. Now, the big thing is, it's not the only answer. It's a big step towards the answer. We got to reestablish morality. If the church can come around and we can get, convert your state and leave the union, now we're kicking. Now we're talking. Now you're thinking Garcia Moreno turning Ecuador around. That can happen. Don't think of it as the big union. Think everybody in their individual states, one, convert your state to the Catholic Church and become an independent nation. It's a French Revolution idea to think of this as a big one union, one nation thing, and we'll get into that with Professor Livingston. So hopefully this gains some momentum. That'd be great. Hopefully other states will take suit afterwards. Pray God this happens. If I move to Texas, that'd be fine. If nobody else goes, I would hope that other states in the South definitely would do it, but who knows? Anyways, well, thank you again. I'll link the rundown at the end of this. And I don't think it went as long as I did before. Let me check the timer. 36 minutes. Last week was an hour. Hopefully this won't get kicked off YouTube. I tried my best not to say any the key words that will get me booted. So we'll put this up on YouTube and see what happens. Well, God love you and talk to you later.